Earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis. Introduction. We usually think of the ground and the ocean as peaceful things. The ground lies quietly beneath our feet, and the ocean laps gently against the shore. But forces deep within the earth can suddenly destroy that peacefulness. These forces cause violent shakings called earthquakes, explosions of ash, gases, and hot rocks called volcanoes, and huge waves called tsunamis. In this book, you will read about these amazing events and the forces that cause them to happen. Deep within the earth, beneath the soil, rock, and the water on the surface of our planet, the earth is constantly changing. The top layer of earth is made of giant pieces of rock, like the pieces of a puzzle. The pieces of rock called plates make up continents and ocean floors. Where the edges of the plates come together, there are often cracks and gaps, called faults. Underneath the plates, the earth is very hot. It is so hot that rocks melt into a liquid called magma. The plates float on top of this liquid magma. The magma is always moving, dragging the plates around with it. At the edge of the moving plates, three different things can happen. If the plates are moving against each other, one plate slides over or under the other plate. If the plates are moving past each other, the edges of the plates grind together, and if the plates are moving apart, they make a gap where magma seeps out. Earthquakes, terrible trembling. The plates usually move very slowly, but sometimes large pieces of the plates get caught. The plates keep trying to move, but these large blocks of rock hold them back. The pressure and energy build up. Then, suddenly the rocks give way, releasing all that pressure and energy. The plates jerk forward and the ground shakes. For above, on the surface, people feel an earthquake. In a small earthquake, the ground shakes a little, causing some hanging objects to swing. Tree branches sway as if there were a gentle breeze. Some earthquakes are so small that we do not notice them, but sometimes the shaking is so strong that buildings crumble, bridges collapse, and large cracks open in the ground over large areas. We measure the strength of earthquakes on an instrument called a seismograph. Each earthquake is given a number depending on its strength. The numbers are from the Richter scale. You can look at the chart on the next page to learn what the different lengths of earthquakes feel like. For each number on the Richter 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 scale, an earthquake is 10 times as strong as the previous number. A 6.0 earthquake is 10 times as strong as a 5.0 earthquake. It is 100 times as strong as a 4.0 earthquake. The largest earthquake ever recorded measured 9.5 on the Richter scale. It occurred on the coast of the South American country of Chile. Scientists are still learning about these dangerous events. One day they may be able to warn people before earthquakes occur. Volcanoes, enormous explosions. A volcano occurs wherever magma from deep inside the earth comes out through a crack in the surface. Volcanoes usually happen near the edges of the plates, where there are many cracks and thin spots where the magma can leak out. When the magma pours onto the surface, it hardens, often piling up into a mountain. Sometimes the liquid rock flows peacefully out across the land. This is how many of the active volcanoes on the Hawaiian Islands behave. But sometimes the hot magma cools before it gets to the surface. It hardens into a solid piece of rock, plugging up the crack or hole where it had been seeping out. It acts like a plug in a bottle. The magma continues to push upward. Hot gases in the magma press against the plug. The pressure gets greater and greater. Suddenly the volcano explodes. Huge chunks of rock burst from the volcano. Entire mountainsides can be ripped away. Hot poisonous gas, ash, and melted rock shoot into the sky. The volcano erupts with unbelievable power. Many dangerous and destructive things happen during volcanic eruptions. When mountains explode, they send tons of rock rolling down their sides. These falling rocks are called landslides. Landslides can bury whole cities. They can block rivers, causing floods. Clouds of ash and dust rise into the air during volcanic eruptions. This ash falls to the ground like snow. The ash is so heavy that the roofs of houses can collapse under its weight. An ash cloud can spread all around the world. Large ash clouds can even block out sunlight. The temperature of the entire Earth can cool down after a large volcanic eruption. A volcano can cause an explosion of extremely hot poisonous gases. The explosion can be so powerful that it knocks over entire forests, and so hot that it starts destructive fires. Some large volcanoes have snow and ice on top. The hot gases melt all the snow and ice at once, and the water rushes down the mountain. This large dirt-filled flood is called a mudslide. A mudslide is like a liquid landslide. Scientists are not yet able to predict when earthquakes will happen, but fortunately, they have gotten very good at predicting when a large volcano is about to erupt. In 1991, the first scientists warned the people living around the volcano in the country of Philippines that the volcano was about to erupt. Many people left the area and found safety before the huge volcano erupted. Tsunamis, wild waves. Tsunamis are huge waves caused by earthquakes or volcanoes. They used to be called tidal waves, but the word tidal means something to do with the ocean's normal tides, and tsunami have nothing to do with the tides. Tsunamis can be as high as a football field is long. They can be the largest waves in the world. The edges of the plates where earthquakes and volcanoes often occur usually lie near the edges of the oceans. The shaking of an earthquake or the explosion of a volcano can cause large landslides. Entire hills can collapse. and sometimes they fall into the sea and make huge waves. Earthquakes and volcanoes can also be found under the sea. Underwater earthquakes cause the sea floor to move violently. Undersea volcanoes cause explosions under the water. Both of these events create huge waves that spread across the surface of the ocean. Tsunamis speed outward away from their source in all directions. Tsunamis can cross an entire ocean. Tsunamis travel extremely fast, up to 320 kilometers per hour. It is often ocean. Tsunamis may not be very high above the surface of the water, but they are very deep. As tsunamis approach land and move into shallow water, the elevated ocean floor pushes the wave upward. The wave slows to about 70 kilometers per hour, but the ocean floor lifts it higher and higher. By the time a tsunami reaches land, it is tall enough to destroy almost anything in its path. The largest tsunami ever recorded came ashore along the coast of Alaska. It was taller than the world's tallest building. But this wave was in a very small bay, only a short distance from the landslide that caused it. Most tsunamis are not that high when they reach shore. They are usually between 1 and 10 stories high. They might not sound very high, but it is hard to imagine the power of this much moving water. Most coastal towns and villages are much less than 30 meters above the sea. Then even a small tsunami can destroy houses, streets, and entire towns. A tsunami caused by a volcano in Indonesia killed 36,000 people in 1883. Like volcanoes, tsunamis are becoming easier to predict. They usually do not hit the shore until a few minutes to a few hours after the earthquake or volcano that caused them. Scientists have instruments that detect volcanoes and earthquakes. When a large one happens, scientists have time to warn people that a tsunami may be coming. Unfortunately, the system cannot warn people in time to save their homes or belongings, but they do have time to save their lives, which is the most important thing. Conclusion: our quiet planet occasionally turns violent. During a large earthquake, the ground shakes, destroying homes and property. In an explosive volcanic eruption, liquid rock, poisonous gases, ash, and landslides can bury cities. And tsunamis can cause billions of dollars in damage along coastlines. Scientists are trying to learn as much as they can about these violent events. As they learn more, scientists can predict volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis in order to save thousands of lives.